Okay. Okay, we're just gonna start. Hi, bud. Hi, you want to be a part of this? My name is Sarah. This is Fred. This is our first day on YouTube. There's probably a lot that I should say in an introduction, but sometimes you just have to do a thing. So all I'll say is a lot has changed in my life, a lot is changing in the world, and we're just all dealing with it. So today I'm going to talk about change, and just to make that maybe a little bit more interesting, I'm going to change various things about my house. So if you want a little crafty time, you want a little community, this is for you. We're gonna jump in and you're gonna figure out who I am as the video goes. I feel like I could do a whole introduction about who I am and why I'm starting this project, but I just feel like those questions will be answered as the video progresses. So we're not gonna waste time up top. I've probably already talked for too long. What do you think, Fred? Good boy. Okay, let's go. All right, we're gonna start with a really easy one. We're gonna change out all of the dead flowers in my house. So I've assembled all the dead flowers around me. Looks like a graveyard of previously lovely things. And we're gonna fix it. What's changed? Okay, it's really actually pretty funny to start an internet project talking about having just gone through a big period of change, because like I know what's changed. I have the point of comparison because I've been living my life the whole time. But you know, as far as the internet's concerned, this is the first day of my life. You know, it has always been thus. But it hasn't. About 6 months ago, I came to the end of a nearly 6-year partnership. The actual breakup was, when it came down to it, pretty peaceful and loving and non-dramatic. It just was one of those things that needed to happen, but that ending of that relationship was really just the catalyst for a lot of deeper, more pervasive change. And the biggest and really most powerful change there was me living alone in this house. So this house that I'm in now, my ex and I purchased together. There was this, for me at least, this sort of looming concern that were the relationship ever to change, it would mean a major disruption in this home. I, in sort of catastrophic thinking, was certain that I would need to leave the house. And as it's turned out, I've been able to figure out how to stay, at least for a while. We'll see, you know, life is long and there might be another change a coming, but for now I'm here. It's meant that I've gotten to live alone for the first time in my adult life. And it's been scary at times and stressful and expensive. It's been very expensive. I've had to make personal sacrifices to make it happen, but it has been, running parallel to all of that, just the most bonkers fun thing I've ever gotten to do. And it sort of opened me up creatively, especially as it comes to like the design of the house and what the house feels like. It's the first time in my life where I haven't had to make any compromises for anybody else, for anybody's preferences or needs. It has been the most like liberating feeling. And so this thing that I thought might, if it ever happened, bring about a lot of like loneliness, actually just infused all this openness into my life. Which, how cool. Very, very cool. So that's what's changed. And I'm doing this. Here I am starting YouTube. So why not? It's an idea that I've been knocking around for literal years. All right, I'm gonna focus and put these flowers together, and then we'll talk more. It's just so much better. They look so much better than the dead flowers. I mean, that seems obvious, but it's so much better than the dead flowers. A very positive change. I'm gonna go place them about the house. costume change and the reveal of my unhatted head to the internet. All right, now we're really cooking. The sun is pretty directly in my eyes, so that's good. So this is a project that I have wanted to do for quite some time. I have zero experience with this type of thing, so it could go really bad, and I thought that I would just try something as publicly as I possibly could. So this chair in this spot in my living room was my desk chair for many, many years, and I like it very much. I got it on Facebook Marketplace, but as you can see, my cat has really destroyed it. It's needed a little freshen for some time, and particularly since I've moved it into this room, it just is a little dark in the space. So I have a wild idea to cover this. I got this fabric, and I'm going to be using a technique that I've seen a number of times on YouTube. Again, have never attempted, but I have learned it to be possible to take a can of spray adhesive and thusly adhere fabric to an object without the need for skills with a sewing machine. I have a sewing machine. I could reupholster this the right way, but I just don't trust myself to do it well, and spray adhesive feels a little bit more dummy proof. But yeah, I don't really know if I'm gonna be able to do this well, but I'm gonna try. And even if it sucks, even if it goes really badly, I think failure is an important part of life, and having a failed change or a change that does not go well is probably it's an okay thing. It's an okay reality. So we're gonna embrace change in all its forms. Introduced this project, my microphone was dead. I have since charged my microphone, and in the meantime, I have cut the fabric with which I will transform this chair behind me. I had a complete meltdown while I was doing it. And I'm just gonna cut the fabric. Is this stupid? Yeah, sure. Eee! Ha 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 ha. Just a little haircut. Why wouldn't it be stupid? And I'm committed to doing it the wrong way. Oh, I'm experiencing stress. I'm experiencing so much stress. And all of this feels like a pretty decent illustration of the fact that sometimes changing things is hard, but it still feels worthwhile to do. I have some tools that I've amassed throughout my 3 decades on this planet that I will often turn to when I feel very resistant to welcoming change into my life. One of the biggest pieces of advice I can give anybody who's having a hard time accepting change is really simply to just do it. I mean, it seems like the most simplistic thing that a person could say, but I really do think that often that's the antidote. Just change the thing. Because so much of the time when we are resisting something evolving in our lives, what that resistance feels like is sort of a gripping, and it's like this bracing for impact. The impact of this change, I don't want to do, everything's going to be awful, my life's going to end. That gripping feeling, that full body tension, that is 100% of the time the worst part. The decision to start is so much scarier because in that chasmic space, there is all of the room and possibility for worst case scenarios. I'll speak for myself. I am an incredibly anxious person. And so when I'm standing on the precipice of altering something in my life, my brain is so mean to me. It's so good at being mean to me. It's so good at saying, have you thought of all the worst things that could happen? And the real torture of change is that self-talk. But just making your body do whatever the action is of the thing, it always makes you feel better. There's always relief hiding in the change. This is not a breakup video TM, but a great example of that recently in my life has been ending a long relationship. It feels like the scariest thing in the world, and it doesn't mean that it's not painful when it happens, but certainly, as was the case for me recently, in the decision that I thought would break my world, there was waiting, huge relief and comfort, and steps forward. And stepping forward feels really good. Another tool that I have found helpful is to make a physical list of all of the positive changes that you have experienced in your life. I bet most of the change that most of us experience has some net positive in it. So I think making that physical list is a really, really great thing to arm yourself with, because if your brain is being mean to you, like my brain is very often mean to me, I can turn back to this real gift that I've given myself and say, okay, all of this change happened. And I not only survived it, but more often than not, I thrived during it. Being afraid of things changing, it's just an expression of everybody's want to have control. We all want control, and it is so uncomfortable because control is an absolute illusion. It is 100%, it doesn't exist. So any resistance to the one and only true constant in life, it's so human. It's so sweet. It really is very tender. So when you feel yourself feeling like that gripping feeling, just be your own friend, be your own parent, and look at yourself really softly and go, oh, that's really sweet that you think by tensing everything, by being really, really tense, you'll make the thing not happen. It's gonna happen. It's okay. It's okay. Toddlers do this thing called withholding, and it is a control thing, and they literally withhold their poop. They won't poop. They'll just... And that's really what we're all doing. So just be your own parent and say, it's okay. Give yourself some, emotional prune juice. And just let that poop out. Just let it out. I mean, why not start here? This is what you're gonna get. So, anyway, I'm gonna put a mask on. I'm gonna cover this chair. I'm gonna open some windows, and we'll see how this goes.
'Cause this is something that I wanna keep. We will never meet again. We have come to where the story ends. Things will never be the same, I know. And my heart sings the lonely road we go.
I like it so much. I think it looks really, really sweet in the space, and it was a really easy project to do. I truly think anyone could do it because I have no expertise, and I did it, and I think I did an okay job, and I kind of rushed it too. I I could have done a better job than I did, but I'm happy with the job that I did. A good change, a positive change, much improved. Things are really cooking now. I'm not going to be cooking. I'm just in the kitchen. So I have purchased this white dress. And if you were thinking, that it looks like a Victorian nightgown in which one might wander the halls of a manor after dark, lit by candle. Yes, that is the vibe of this dress. I'm not sure how anyone could wear it and have it not look like a nightgown. I certainly can't. I've not been able to, but I didn't buy it to wear as a white dress. I bought it because I have been on the hunt for this cool cherry red, like sculptural dress that I could prance about in at a garden party. And I could not find the dress that was in my mind's eye. And so I went forth and I found this dress, this Victorian nightgown dress, and I am going to turn it into the cherry red garment of my dreams. And while I do that, we're gonna talk about change some more. All right. I need gloves. I need to get gloves. Is this making you have to pee? There she blows! It smells bad. It smells really bad. So it's not like a revolutionary thing for me to sit here and say that change is positive. Like, we know this, right? Change is an inevitable part of life that brings about good things. But I think because change can be such a frightening thing, I think it's important to remind ourselves why it's positive, of what the good things are. The biggest thing for me is that change in and of itself reminds you that change is possible. And that it can be as simple as like adopting a new habit. I have started without compromise, making my bed every single morning the second I get out of it. I make my bed, I'm a little obsessive about it. I make it like as I get out of bed, like I roll out of bed as I'm making it. But I was like a very messy kid and young adult, and it's like such a small thing, but having made that daily of a change in my routine and how I experience my life and my home, like just thinking about that, I think, oh, well then anything's possible. So that's a good thing about change. You can really find yourself in change. It's quite cool to step into uncharted personal waters and find that you feel more like yourself. That's one of the big scary things about change, is that, oh, I won't feel like myself, I won't be myself if I change this, or this. But I think in reality, it's a way to tether yourself back to yourself, because we're all changing constantly, we're all evolving. Is it getting too heady? All right, let's think of a funny thing to say. What's a funny thing to say? This really does look like blood. It super looks like blood. How gory. Ugh. I'd say it went pretty decent. It is so much better. I think I probably will over diet more, but I like it. I mean, it makes me feel kind of like fun and flirty and dancerly. Yay, hooray. All right, let's do some more stuff. Let's keep hanging out. I should get scissors for this. I need scissors. All right, one more thing. Going to change out the pot that this sweet and kind of struggling plant is in. So I'm going to repot it into a smaller vessel and just sort of wind down this cozy little day. All right. I kind of super don't know what I'm doing, so That seems surprising that that's alive. So in all this conversation about change, it's made me sort of ruminate on and consider other things that I'd like to change yet. For the sake of this video, I'll narrow it down to, I'll do 3 things. A house-y project thing, sort of a career-y thing, and a personal thing. So, easy one first, the house. Countless, endless things I'd like to change in this house. I'm not saying it's not already wonderful, but projects are one of the best parts of having a home. So I want to do some more updates in my room. I want to paint, and I have an ambition perhaps to paint the ceiling in a kind of wacky way, which feels like a fun risk that perhaps I will film. And I want to update curtains, up my curtain game in there. All right, that'll be fun. I'm excited. And the worky one is really this. This is the next change. It feels very, very vulnerable to be doing this. I cannot think of a more dancing out into the middle of the street in one's underpants and saying, "Look at me, look at me, look at me," than putting oneself out on YouTube. But I feel that it is worthwhile to push through that discomfort. Because I do think it's important to do things that make you uncomfortable. I think a little bit, not to like the nth degree, but I think discomfort is sort of where the rubber meets the road and where the growth happens. So I think that's good. I think being uncomfortable can be good. Good job so far. And then on another level, it feels worthwhile to me to do, because I've gotten so much out of this platform already. There is, of course, like a pure entertainment element of what many creators do, and that's wonderful. And then there are creators who have really gone beyond being pure entertainment and have added true and measurable richness to my life, who have legitimately impacted me in ways that have made my life better and have made me a better person. And because I've gotten so much out of that well already, there is a certain reciprocal impulse that I have to then contribute to it. I am not saying that what I'm doing is fantastic yet, but I do see value in trying at it. So I'm dancing out into the street in my underwear and making this big change that I hope becomes something. And I don't know what it will become. And isn't that one of the best things of being at the beginning of something? There's no measurable way to know what it will be. But it's really fun to be an audience to change. So I'm excited about that. And then there's some personal changes that I want to make. And it's really, that kind of gets into growth stuff. Something I really want to work on is deepening my sense of trust in myself. And along with that, deepening my trust in my own lovability. Oh, that is such a naked thing to say. It is the deepest source of anxiety in my life. This fear that I am too much, that my perspective, my voice, my way of moving through the world is somehow inherently less valuable or less trustworthy than other people's. And it is a key way that I am less than kind to myself, is not giving myself the gift of trust in me, trust in how I move through the world. And it's a way that I want to be kinder to myself. And in that, just better my own experience of myself in the world. I mean, this is the relationship, right? This is the big relationship we all get, is our relationship with ourselves. So that's the big work that's next. Trust myself and trust that I'm not too much. I'm really, really happy to be putting this project out in the world. It's really, really fun to do. I've had a really fun time toddling about and being a doofus and doing stupid little projects. I have a lot of ideas, and I'm confident that this channel will continue to change and evolve as time goes on. I can absolutely assure you that it will be silly and very earnest. That's what I can promise, is silly, earnest content, because I have no other speed. That is the factory setting on this vessel. But I'm excited to keep making things and sharing them with all of you. So take care of yourself. Go make something. We'll see you soon. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. I didn't really finish this. I made a mess. I just made a mess. That does seem better. No, it's worse. It's worse. Oh no. Oh no, it's worse. Do you have dirt all over the dress? Gonna have to wash it again.